The Harrow Club wasn't just a restaurant. It was a sanctuary of wealth, a cathedral of glass and crystal where the elite gathered to be seen. Chandeliers spilled golden light across polished marble floors. Strings played softly in the corner, the violinist bowing with the precision of a surgeon. Every table glittered with silver cutlery and glasses so fine they seemed stolen from royalty. Conversations here were whispers, not words, gentle exchanges between men and women who had never once worried about overdue rent or the cost of bread. The air smelled faintly of truffle oil and aged wine. Outside, the city pulsed with chaos traffic horns. Sirens, shouts, but here, time moved slower. Carefully wrapped in elegance, the camera pans to Evelyn Harcourt. She was 76, but age had not stolen her regality. Evelyn Harcourt sat at the head of a long mahogany table reserved for the night's charity dinner. Her silver hair was coiled into a chignon, her pearl earrings glowing under the warm lights. She wore a midnight blue gown with understated diamonds at her wrist. Evelyn was not simply wealthy. She was a name, a Harcourt, patron of the arts, endower of scholarships, hostess of galas. When Evelyn Harcourt entered a room, she did not need to speak. People noticed, but beneath her polished exterior was something unseen, a heaviness in her chest, a silence in her heart that had lingered for decades. Tonight was like every other night, carefully orchestrated, perfectly planned. But Evelyn had no idea fate was waiting in the shadows. From the service corridor emerged Maya, balancing a tray of glasses. At 21, she was graceful not by training, but by necessity. Her black uniform was crisp, but slightly frayed at the edges. Her shoes bore the tired shine of being polished too many times. Her eyes, though young, carried shadows older than her years. She moved quickly, silently, weaving between tables with the precision of someone who knew mistakes cost wages. Around her neck, half hidden by the stiff white collar of her blouse, hung a golden locket. It wasn't flashy. Its chain was worn, the clasp a little bent, but it gleamed faintly when the chandelier caught it, as though holding a light of its own. Maya touched it unconsciously as she leaned forward to place a glass of water on Evelyn's table. And that's when the world stopped. Evelyn's eyes fell, not on the glass, not on the hand that placed it, but on the locket resting gently against Maya's collarbone. Her breath caught. Her hand trembled slightly beneath her white glove, that lock-A.N-O. It couldn't be. Her pulse thundered in her ears as the dining room blurred. She heard laughter, forks against porcelain, the violin sigh, and it all receded, replaced by one image. The locket she had once clasped around her daughter's neck 35 years ago. Her daughter, Isabella, the same locket she had kissed goodbye on her child's 16th birthday. The locket she thought had vanished forever the night Isabella stormed out of their home. Evelyn's throat tightened. Her eyes burned with tears she had forbidden herself for decades. She froze, her gaze locked on the necklace as if it might vanish if she blinked. Maya noticed the woman staring. Customers stared, sometimes some with impatience, some with pity, some with disdain. She had trained herself to smile through it, but this stare was different. The older woman's eyes were wide, wet, unblinking. Maya instinctively touched her necklace, adjusting it as though embarrassed. She had worn it every day since her mother's death. It wasn't valuable to anyone else, but to her it was priceless. It was the last thing her mother had left behind. Maya didn't know that the woman before her had once held that same locket, pressing it against her lips while whispering promises of forever. The locket unlocked memories Evelyn had buried in silence. She saw Isabella again 16, defiant, her hair loose around her shoulders, her eyes blazing with youthful fury. She remembered their last fight. Evelyn insisting on duty, reputation, the Harcourt name. Isabella demanding freedom, love, independence. The words had been cruel, sharp, final. You are my daughter, and you will live as a Harcourt, not like some common girl. Then I'd rather not be your daughter at all. And then the slamming of a door, the sound of footsteps fading, the silence that swallowed Evelyn's mansion. For years, she had searched letters unanswered, private investigators failing, until hope curdled into anger, and anger hardened into pride. She had told the world Isabella chose her path. She had never told anyone that guilt haunted her every night. And now, here it was, proof, the locket, alive. In that moment, Evelyn Harcourt's world cracked. All the chandeliers, all the diamonds, all the polite whispers of wealth, none of it mattered. Because a simple locket had resurrected the ghost of the daughter she had lost. And perhaps the granddaughter she never knew. Maya carried the tray away, her thoughts flickering briefly to her mother. She remembered the nights they moved apartments, the jobs her mother juggled, the quiet strength she carried until illness stole it away. Her mother never spoke much of family. She only said, things were complicated. Some doors are better left closed. But she had pressed the locket into Maya's hands with her final breaths. Keep this, Maya. It belonged to someone important. Someone I loved once, but could never see again. Let it remind you love is worth carrying, even when the world makes it heavy. Maya had promised never to part with it. And now a stranger's stare threatened to unravel that promise. As the charity dinner continued, Evelyn tried to resume her role. She smiled, nodded, exchanged practiced words with donors, but her eyes betrayed her. Every time Maya passed, her gaze followed. Every time the locket shimmered, her breath quickened. Fear nodded her. What if she was wrong? What if this was a coincidence? A cruel trick of fate? And yet, deep inside, Evelyn knew. Fate wasn't so careless. This wasn't chance. Fate often waits for the quietest of nights, for the most ordinary of moments. A tray, a glass of water, a glimpse of gold. That is how lives change forever. Evelyn Harcourt did not yet know the truth. Maya did not yet know the secret she carried. But soon, the necklace would speak. And when it did, nothing in their lives would remain the same. Evelyn Harcourt's diamond ring clinked against her champagne flute as she lifted it, her hand trembling despite her effort to appear composed. The table was alive with chatter, men in tuxedos trading stock tips, women in gowns comparing holiday estates, but Evelyn heard none of it. Her gaze was fixed, unwavering, on the waitress weaving between tables. Maya, the golden locket glinted again. Evelyn's throat constricted. She leaned subtly toward her son, Victor Harcourt, who sat to her right, his cufflinks glimmering like shields of pride. Evelyn whispering, "Urgent, do you see her?" "The girl with the tray?" Victor followed her eyes, frowned. Victor dismissive, "A waitress, mother? Don't trouble yourself. She's doing her job." But Evelyn's face betrayed her unease. Her knuckles whitened as she clutched her napkin. "Evelyn Isabella, my darling, is this your child? Did fate bring her to me? After all these wasted years?" She sees her daughter's face in her mind. Isabella, laughing in the garden, clutching books to her chest, hair tumbling in the wind. Then the argument again, the words that severed them. Evelyn had told her, "You will not disgrace this family," Isabella had answered. "Then I will find a family that loves me for who I am." That was the last night Evelyn saw her daughter alive. Steam hissed. Pans clanged. Orders barked from chefs echoed against tiled walls. Maya leaned against the counter for a stolen breath. She pressed the locket between her fingers. Her friend and fellow waitress Tara nudged her with a tray. Tara teasing, "Careful, Maya. Table 4 is watching you like a hawk. The old lady in blue hasn't taken her eyes off you all night." Maya gave a small, awkward laugh, though her stomach tightened. "Maya, she probably thinks I'm slow or clumsy. Some people just look at you like that." But her hand lingered on the locket, protectively. "Tara, don't mind her. She's rich. They live in another world. Just keep moving." Maya nodded, but the weight of the stare burned at her back. We see Isabella, young, fiery, slipping out of the Harcourt mansion under cover of night, a suitcase in one hand. Her mother's gift, the golden locket around her neck. Isabella weak, breathless. "Promise me you'll keep this locket." "Maya, promise me you'll remember that love is stronger than pride." Maya nods, tears streaking her cheeks. The locket glints in the sterile hospital light. The monitor flatlines. Maya cries out. Evelyn clutches her chest. She cannot remain silent. She rises abruptly, her chair scraping against marble, startling the table. The violin falters. Heads turn. Victor leans in, alarmed. Victor whispering, "Harsh mother. Sit down. What are you doing?" But Evelyn is already moving, her cane tapping against the floor as she crosses the room. Her eyes never leave Maya. Maya nearly drops her tray as Evelyn approaches, towering over her despite her frail frame. Evelyn voice trembling, desperate at necklace. "Where did you get it?" Maya blinks, confused, taking a step back. "Maya, it was my mother's." "Why?" Evelyn's breath catches. Her eyes brim with tears. Evelyn hoarse whisper, "Your mother's name." "Tell me." Maya hesitant, guarded. "Isabella. Isabella Rivera." The room tilts for Evelyn. She staggers, gripping the edge of a chair. Gasps ripple through nearby guests. Evelyn broken, whispering to herself, "My Isabella. My Bella." She looks at Maya as if seeing a ghost reborn. There are moments in life when truth does not arrive gently. It crashes. It shatters. In the golden light of a restaurant, Evelyn Harcourt's fortress of pride collapsed, and before her stood the living proof of her daughter's love, the grandchild she never knew she had. Maya frowns, clutching the locket. She feels exposed, invaded. Maya defensive. How? How do you know her name? Who are you? Evelyn reaches for her hand, her voice breaking. Evelyn, I am Evelyn Harcourt, Isabella's mother, your grandmother. The room goes silent. Plates clink in the distance, whispers spread like wildfire. Victor rises from his seat, striding over, his face tight with anger. Victor, enough of this, mother. This girl is nobody. Don't embarrass yourself. But Evelyn snaps, her voice louder, rawer than anyone has heard in years. Evelyn, she's not nobody. She is my blood, my Isabella's child. The declaration hangs in the air. Malia stares, stunned, her heart racing. Secrets buried in the shadows have a way of clawing back into the light. A necklace, a name, a confession, and in one night, a forgotten daughter's child had been thrust into the center of wealth, grief, and decades of regret. But revelation is only the beginning. What follows is the test. Can wounds so deep ever be healed? The entire dining hall had gone still, as if the chandeliers themselves held their breath. Forks hovered above plates. Glasses trembled in hands. All eyes were on the frail but fierce Evelyn Harcourt, standing before the waitress with tears streaking her powdered cheeks. Evelyn pleading, voice shaking. You are Isabella's child. Aren't you? You are my granddaughter. Maya's pulse thundered in her ears. The weight of the words pressed against her chest. Grandmother? This woman? Maya stammering. No, that's not possible. My mother she never spoke about you. Maya takes a step back, clutching her locket like a shield. Her face is a storm of confusion and fear. Maya hurt, defensive. My mother raised me alone. She said her family didn't want her. That's all she ever told me. Evelyn flinches, guilt carving lines deeper into her face. Evelyn choking on regret. She was right. I was a fool. I let my pride drive her away, and I've lived with that sin for 35 years. Victor steps forward, placing a hand on Evelyn's shoulder, trying to steady her, but his jaw is clenched, his voice low and sharp. Victor hissing. Mother, stop this. You're humiliating yourself. And me. This girl is not family. She's staff. She's no Harcourt, for the rich reputation is a fortress built brick by brick over decades. But for Evelyn, that fortress was already rubble. She had no concern for whispers or stares. All she saw was blood, her daughter's child, standing inches away, yet worlds apart. Evelyn grabs Maya's hand suddenly, shocking her. Her grip is weak, trembling, but desperate. Evelyn sobbing. Forgive me, Maya. Forgive me for failing your mother. I should have fought for her, but instead I pushed her away. And now she's gone. And her voice breaks. I never got to say I'm sorry. Maya's breath quickens. The sight of this elegant woman collapsing in front of her twists her insides, but a wall rises inside her too. Maya pulling back. Stop, please stop. You don't get to come into my life after all this time and claim me. Where were you when she was sick? When we had nothing? When I had to bury her alone? Gasps ripple through the room. Evelyn's sobs grow harder. Victor steps between them, shielding his mother. His presence looms over Maya. His voice icy. Victor, that's enough. You've had your fun, young lady, but you will not manipulate my mother with sob stories. Whatever this necklace means, it doesn't change facts. You are not part of this family, and you never will be. Evelyn slaps Victor's arm away with surprising strength. Evelyn furious, through tears. Silence, Victor. You speak of facts. The fact is this girl carries Isabella's face, Isabella's spirit. And that locket, my locket, was my gift to your sister. It belongs to her child. To my granddaughter. The hall buzzes with whispers, scandal thick in the air. A younger Maya, maybe 14, sits in a dark apartment. The electricity cut off. She holds her mother's hand. Isabella coughs violently, her body frail. Isabella weakly. We don't need their wealth, Maya. We have love. We have enough. Maya nods bravely. Though her stomach growls from hunger, she kisses the locket around her mother's neck. Maya softly, as long as we have each other. Back to the present. Maya touches the locket again. Tears threatening but not falling. Maya angrily. To Evelyn, you think saying sorry now makes a difference? My mother cried every night because of you. She begged God for strength to raise me without help. She died believing she wasn't worth your love. And now you want me to forgive you, just like that? Her voice cracks. Guests shift uncomfortably, some dabbing at their eyes, others shaking their heads. Evelyn sobs openly, no longer caring about her dignity. Evelyn broken, pleading, I cannot change the past. But please, child, let me change the future. Let me love you, if you'll allow it. Two hearts collided that night. One hardened by years of struggle, the other shattered by decades of regret. Forgiveness was a bridge neither knew how to cross, and standing at the edge of that chasm was Maya, torn between the memory of her mother's suffering and the trembling hand of the grandmother who begged for one last chance. Maya shakes her head, her voice low, almost a whisper. Maya, I don't know you, and I don't know if I want to. She turns, storming toward the kitchen, tears blurring her vision. The doors slam behind her. Evelyn's body crumples. Victor catches her before she falls, though his face is stone. Evelyn screaming after Maya, voice raw. Maya, please, don't leave me like your mother did. Her cry echoes through the gilded hall, chilling every soul present. And so the wound deepened. In one night, a necklace reopened the scars of 30 years, and a family torn apart was thrust into collision. But healing never comes without fire, and forgiveness never without pain. The question remained, would Maya return, or would history repeat itself once more? The kitchen is nearly empty now. The last of the dishes clatter in the sink. Steam fogs out the small square window where the waitstaff usually peek into the dining hall. Maya sits on a metal stool, her apron stained, her hair falling loose from her ponytail. Her hands grip the golden locket so tightly that the chain digs into her skin. Tears slip down her cheeks silently. She whispers to herself, Maya to herself, broken, why now? Why her? Why tonight of all nights? Her body shakes. She wants to hate Evelyn Harcourt, this wealthy woman who caused her mother so much pain. But the way Evelyn looked at the locket, the tears, they weren't fake. They were real. For the first time, Maya wonders if her grandmother, her mother's mother, truly never stopped searching. Evelyn Harcourt sits alone in the back seat of her limousine. The glow of the city blurs past through tinted windows. Her pearl necklace hangs loose, one clasp undone. Her makeup is smeared from crying. The cane rests against her thigh. But tonight, she looks frailer than ever. Her trembling hands hold nothing. But in her mind, she's clutching the locket, the same one she gave Isabella so many years ago. She whispers to herself, her voice almost breaking. Evelyn, Isabella, my sweet girl, I should have held you. I should have let you live your own life. But help me, I never forgave myself. The driver glances in the rearview mirror but says nothing. Evelyn turns her face toward the glass, watching raindrops race down the window like tears. The mansion is silent except for the crackle of a fireplace. The Harcourt family portraits stern men in suits. Women in pearls line the oak-paneled walls. Victor Harcourt storms in, his jaw tight, bow tie loosened. He finds his mother sitting in a leather armchair, staring at the flames. Victor angrily, what was that scene tonight? Do you have any idea how humiliating that was? You crying, chasing a waitress in front of everyone. Our family name. Evelyn raises her hand weakly, cutting him off. Evelyn tired, but sharp. Enough, Victor. For once in your life, listen. Victor freezes. Evelyn hasn't spoken to him with such authority in years. That girl, she is Isabella's daughter. Victor blinks, confused, then scoffs. Victor, impossible. Isabella disappeared. She wanted nothing to do with this family. She made her choice, Evelyn. No, Victor. I made the choice. I drove her away. The room falls silent except for the fire. Evelyn's voice softens, but the guilt weighs heavy. Evelyn. I told her she was foolish for loving a man with no money, no title, no standing. I told her if she left with him, she would not be welcome back. And she left pregnant, terrified, clutching that necklace. Victor's anger falters. His face hardens, but not with hatred. This is disbelief battling shame. Victor, and you never told me. You never told any of us that she had a child. Evelyn looks into the fire, her eyes glassy. Evelyn whispers, I didn't know until tonight, when I gave her that locket. I told her it would keep her safe, that no matter where she went, she could always find her way back to me. The flashback darkens. Isabella at the front door with a suitcase, face streaked with tears. Isabella screaming, you care more about money than you do about me. I don't need your mansion. I don't need your name. I just wanted your love. She storms into the rain. Evelyn stands frozen in the doorway, face stone cold, but her eyes betraying the pain. Evelyn whisper, "But pride poisoned me." The small one-room apartment is lit only by a single lamp. Dishes are stacked in the sink. A faded photograph of Maya's mother, Isabella, sits in a cracked frame on the dresser. Maya sits cross-legged on the floor, an old wooden box in front of her. She has pulled out letters, photographs, and scraps of paper her mother kept. She unfolds a worn letter addressed to "My dearest Isabella," written in elegant handwriting, Evelyn's handwriting daughter, as Maya reads. Her eyes widen, tears brimming. The letter speaks of regret, of desperate pleas for Isabella to come home, of apologies never delivered. Maya presses the locket to her lips, whispering, Maya softly, "Mama, you never told me." She tried. She breaks down, clutching the letter to her chest. Back in the library, Evelyn sits slumped, drained. Victor pours himself a stiff drink, his face conflicted. Victor quiet, almost to himself. If she really is Isabella's daughter, then she's one of us. Evelyn looks at him, eyes pleading. Evelyn, she's not just one of us, Victor. She's all I have left of your sister. If I lose her too. She can't finish the sentence. Her voice breaks. The camera lingers on Evelyn's face, illuminated by firelight, fragile yet burning with determination. Cut to Maya in her tiny apartment, still crying, but now staring at the letter, as if hearing Evelyn's voice echo in her mind. The parallel shots hold for a beat. Grandmother and granddaughter too, lives broken by pride, standing at a crossroads. The morning sun filters through velvet curtains. Evelyn sits at her vanity, staring into the mirror. Her eyes are swollen from crying all night, her hands shaky as she adjusts her pearl earrings. She opens a drawer and pulls out an old, dust-covered box. Inside are keepsakes of Isabella photos, a lock of baby hair, drawings, and a note written in crayon that says, "For Mama, love, Bella." Evelyn clutches it to her chest, trembling. Evelyn softly, to herself, "No more pride, no more silence. If there's a chance to fix this, I have to try." She shuts the box firmly, as if sealing her resolve. Maya pours coffee for a customer, but her mind is elsewhere. She wears the locket over her uniform today, visible and deliberate. Her co-worker, Jen, notices her distracted state. "Jen, you've been spacing out since last night. What's going on?" Maya hesitates, then whispers, "Maya, I think I met my grandmother, the one my mom never spoke about." Jen's eyes widen. "Jen, and what are you gonna do?" Maya bites her lip, fighting tears. "Maya, I don't know. Part of me wants to slam the door in her face. Another part just wants to ask her why. Why she let my mom leave. Why she let us struggle alone." Her voice cracks. She quickly wipes her eyes, forcing a smile for a customer. But inside, the war rages. Maya walks home after her shift, carrying a paper bag of groceries. The street is busy, horns honking, vendors calling out. A black limousine pulls up beside her. The window lowers slowly. Evelyn sits inside, her cane across her lap, her face pale but determined. Evelyn gently. "Maya." Maya freezes, clutching her grocery bag. Maya coldly, "You shouldn't be here. Evelyn, please. Just 5 minutes. If after that you never want to see me again, I respect it." Maya's chest rises and falls, anger and curiosity colliding. She finally nods, reluctantly sliding into the car. The car hums softly. City lights flash across Evelyn's lined face. She looks fragile, but her voice is steady. "Evelyn, your mother Isabella. She was my joy, my brightest light, and I drove her away." Maya's grip tightens on the locket. "Maya." She cried herself to sleep some nights. She worked herself to the bone just so I could eat. Do you know how many times I asked her about her family? She never said a word. Do you know what that silence felt like? Evelyn's eyes glisten. "Evelyn, yes, because I've lived it too. 35 years of silence. 35 years of regret." She reaches into her purse and pulls out the old box. She slides it toward Maya. "Evelyn, this is all I have left of her. Every day, I opened this box and told myself tomorrow I'd find the courage to reach out. But tomorrow never came. Until you." Maya hesitates, then opens the box. Her breath catches photos of her mother as a child, birthday cards, even a lock of baby hair. Her fingers tremble as she picks up a photo of Isabella at 16, wearing the same locket. Maya whispers, choked, "Mama." For the first time, her anger cracks into grief. Tears stream down her cheeks. Evelyn reaches out, her hand trembling, but stops short, waiting for permission. Maya looks at her, eyes red, then nods slightly. Evelyn takes her hand gently, both women crying quietly in the back of the limousine. A grey sky looms overhead. Fallen leaves scatter across headstones. Evelyn, with her cane, walks slowly beside Maya. The limousine waits in the distance. They stop at a modest grave, Isabella's. The headstone is simple, worn from weather. Maya kneels, brushing leaves off with care. Evelyn lowers herself beside her, tears streaming freely. Evelyn, voice breaking. I wasn't here when you needed me, Isabella. I wasn't here when you left this world. But I am here now, and I promise I'll honor you through her. Maya takes Evelyn's hand, squeezing it tightly, Maya softly. She would have wanted this. She would have wanted us together. The camera pulls back, showing the two women kneeling side by side, grandmother and granddaughter united in grief. But finally, in love. Sunlight streams into the grand but warm room. Fresh flowers line the windowsill. The once cold mansion now feels alive. Maya sits at a small desk with textbooks open. Evelyn has enrolled her in college. She studies while sipping tea. Evelyn sits nearby, knitting, occasionally looking up with pride. Victor enters, stiff as usual, but he lingers in the doorway, watching. Slowly, he softens, a small smile tagging at his lips. Victor, awkward, but genuine, if you need help with those. I was rather good at economics in my day. Maya looks up, surprised. Then she smiles faintly. Maya, I'd like that. Evelyn watches silently, her heart swelling. For the first time in decades, her family feels whole. Maya walks along the city streets with Evelyn's cane tapping beside her. They laugh softly together, the locket glinting in the sunset. Sometimes life gives us only one chance to make things right. But if we're lucky, grace grants us a second. For Evelyn, that second chance came not with riches, but with the granddaughter who carried her daughter's spirit. And for Maya, it came in the form of love she never thought she'd find. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it can light the path forward.